there is one more game.
Mm-hmm.
This is the game between Geller and Boleslavsky. So imagine you're playing for white.
Mm-hmm.
Try to find weak squares here and think about your first move. Which squares are weak in black's camp?
Well, right now, I'd say the D file is kind of weak, right? Yeah. On top of that, the dark squares are pretty weak. I don't know, maybe there could be some combinations where we take out the bishop or something. No, maybe not where we take out the dark square bishop, but I don't know, the dark squares look kind of weak.
So dark squares, which squares exactly?
I was thinking on the king side, black's king side.
So this...
Yeah, I don't know.
But in such case, we need to trade the bishops, or at least to get
Yeah,
rid
and
of this one.
that's a problem. Which is why I was thinking about the classic G4, H4.
If, for example, we have a pawn on d5 and he has a pawn on d6, then I think g4 and h4 and h5 is a good move.
Yeah.
But in this position, the center is opened. The d file is open, so I don't think we can start the attack. We can, only in case if black loses a few tempers. However, in this game, white played positionally, and he tried to use the weakness of dark squares in the center and on the queen side. That's why he played c5, to fix these weaknesses.
Okay.
If now b6 or b5 we can capture, and then we leave our opponent with the weakness on c6.
Yeah. Also just wondering, is f4 a future move?
No, I don't think so, because then
Okay.
e4 will be hanging.
Okay.
And by the way, it's not obligatory for black to capture, yeah.
Yeah.
It was played... wait a second. Yeah, knight to f8. Queen d6. If black captures, then would we take with a pawn or with a rook? What do you think?
I think the pawn is kind of strong.
Yeah, but we can't push it forward.
Yeah, so that's the problem. So with the rook.
Yeah, I think with the rook to occupy the d file.
At the same time, though, if we take with the pawn, then we might be able to get our bishop to b6, and that could be very, very nice.
Yes, but what to do on b6 if there is nobody on d8?
Yeah.
And moreover, he can block our pawn with the knight on d7.
Yeah.
So if he captures on d6, then we take with our rook.
Yeah.
However, in this game it was played knight d6. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bishop c4, bishop f8. So black forced white to capture on c7. Knight takes on c7. Okay, so how to play for white now?
I feel like bishop g5 maybe.
Bishop g5, king g7. Or even knight to d7, and then c5 pawn will be hanging.
No, I don't want to play that anymore. You raise a good point.
Okay, so here there are two weaknesses here. What do we usually do with weak squares?
You try to put pieces on them.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we can try playing knight a4, I guess.
Yeah, knight a4 makes sense, but in this game it was played knight a5. This knight then goes to c4 and b6 or d6.
So then why do they want to move the bishop?
So we are waiting for a trade.
Mm.
So rook b8, knight a4, bishop e6. Bishop captures bishop, knight takes on a6, and knight c4.
No, c4. Yes.
Knight goes back to c7. And now we are starting to penetrate. So we occupy this weak square with our first knight. The pawn is hanging. That's why b4. Knight f4. How would you play? Would you play g3 or not?
Mm. Probably not.
Why not?
I don't know. It just seems kind of weak. Passive. Maybe it's okay though.
It was play rook d2 because we also want to capture on e5 and
Yeah.
capture this knight on f4.
Mm.
Okay, so rook b to d8, rook d1.
Uh-huh.
Then it's a rook trades and bishop g7. In this position it was played knight a5 to attack the weakness on b7.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we capture on e5?
Then knight captures on e4.
Knight captures on e4. Yeah, that's right. And we can't capture here because our rook is hanging with check.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like
uh-huh.
I feel like maybe instead of the knight coming to a5, maybe knight coming to d6 is better.
But if we play knight d6, then we close this file.
That's true. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Knight a5, rook b8. How would you play? Our task here is to get any material advantage and pass the game. Oh, it's already an endgame, so just to trade pieces and get an extra pawn at least.
I don't know. I think it's okay to take the knight on f4.
E takes on f4.
Mm-hmm. Then I'm not so sure anymore. I was thinking about also knight d7, but I don't like this move. Looking at it now.
Why not? Why not? This is
I mean,
how it was played in the game, knight d7.
oh really?
Yeah, exactly. Because then there is no way to protect this pawn. If it
Yeah.
moves, if the pawn moves, then c6 becomes a weakness. So I think he should trade, because rook d8 doesn't work. If rook d8, we capture on f6, bishop f6.
Yeah.
Rook captures rook, bishop captures on d8, and knight b7.
And then we capture the pawn.
Yeah, and then these two pawns are also weaknesses.
Yeah.
But that's enough to have just one extra pawn to win this position. So let me check. After knight d7, yeah, exactly. This is how it was played. For example, if knight takes, then you see rook d7 and b7 is hanging. There is no way to protect it. So rook d8, knight captures, bishop.
Rook captures rook.
Yeah, knight b7 and bishop c7. So it's like he wants to restrict the knight, because everywhere knight moves, he can capture with the bishop. However, white starts to join the king to the center. King c2, king f8. And now he plays knight to d6.
Is that to stop the king from coming to the center?
Yeah. So king e7 was played, but what if bishop takes, pawn takes?
Pawn takes, yeah.
King e8.
I think we have time. Yeah, king
e5.
d3.
e5 first. e5, I think. Because if not,
yeah,
then
yeah, because
f6.
you don't want them playing f6, exactly, so, yeah.
What if he plays f6 here? And now we have enough time.
We have enough time to get the king in, yeah.
So we have an extra pawn in the pawn endgame that absolutely winning position. So that's why in this position bishop takes on d6 doesn't work, king e7. Knight goes to c4, king e6, king d3, h5.
Yep.
Knight d2, bishop e5, knight b3, king d7. So do you understand the maneuver of this knight?
To bring it to d4?
Yeah, knight d4. So now the king is tied to this pawn. Bishop f6, king c4, bishop a5, a4,
Nice.
c takes, a takes, and so if he captures, then we take with our knight, and we have an extra pawn, which is a distant passed pawn, so we are able to promote it with the help of the knight and the king. That's why a5 was played. By the way, what would happen if bishop captures on d4? How would you play? So the idea is that after you capture the bishop, b5 will be lost, and that's a draw.
So I'm gonna take on a5, a6.
Yeah, so if you take on a6, the bishop can't stop the pawn.
Yeah, so the king has to try and stop the pawn, but that takes tempos, so now we take the bishop, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, a5 was played. And how would you play?
I don't know, c6 check?
c6 check. Actually, I think any move in this position is a winning move. But no, knight c6, winning another pawn. It's difficult to protect. If bishop d8, then we have a pawn endgame, which is absolutely winning for white. Because we can play b6, king b5, and king a5. If a4, then just king b4, and he loses this pawn, while black can't attack on c5. he has not enough tempers. Bishop e7, knight e7.
Mm-hmm.
So after knight c6, black resigned because
Nice.
he loses one more pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, look at this position again. So as I understood, you would play g4, h4, and h5 here, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't work because the center's open.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work in this position
Mm.
because in such case, black can have an initiative using the d file, so he can get this rook to d8 and try to trade pieces, try to... anyway, even if you open the position on the king side, you don't have enough pieces to checkmate because he can trade all of your active pieces through the center.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about c5 move? Was it easy to understand that c5 controls these two weaknesses?
Well, it's easy to understand that it controls the two weaknesses, but it took me a long time to find it. Well, actually, I didn't even find it. You showed me.
Yeah. All right. And then our idea was to penetrate these two weak squares, b6 and d6, with our knights, like this. So one of the knights goes here, another one here.
Actually, I found that I'm pretty bad at finding positional plays.
Yeah, that's why we analyzed these games.
Yeah.